We're joined on the phone today by Adam Ezra, the frontman for the Adam Ezra Group. They'll be playing at the Parkway Theater coming up on June 29th in Minneapolis. Hey, Adam, how's it going today?
I'm doing really good, man. Thanks for your call.
Yeah, you bet. I just had a few questions for you, so I won't keep you too long.
Okay, no problem.
Well, Adam, first of all, can you tell us a bit about yourself and the Adam Ezra Group, and well, maybe for the listeners out there who haven't discovered you guys yet?
Absolutely, Justin. And I want to say too, we are a little new to the Minneapolis area, and I appreciate you so much. You're taking an interest in us. We are a grassroots band from Boston, Massachusetts, and we are inspired by the process of connecting with people through the music that we play every single night. These days, we'll play about 200 shows a year all over the country, and oftentimes in small venues, although sometimes we get to be on some bigger tours these days, which is pretty exciting. And we will be coming to the Parkway Theater in the end of June. It'll be my second time ever being in your neighborhood. The first time I was opening for a band called Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes at a spot right in the city. You laughed. Do you know those guys?
Well, I don't think you can watch any movie made in the 80s without them showing up on the soundtrack somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, like total, their entire band, a crazy bunch of characters. Being on the road with those guys was pretty amazing, and I got to experience the Dakota, a place that I'm guessing you know very well.
Sure.
Yeah, cool club.
Well, yeah, that's it's interesting. You playing so many shows and not making it to here. Is it just the timing didn't work out, or how come you haven't gotten around here more often? I guess.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I think that as a we're kind of like a hyper independent grassroots band, right? And so it takes the ways people find out about us. It happens so organically, and generally speaking, when a place or a city wants us to play somewhere, we figure out a way to make it happen. I'm just not sure our music has trickled out your way to raise the eyebrows of anyone locally yet. So I'm pretty excited to kind of start our story with you guys at the Parkway Theater in a couple weeks.
Excellent. Again, the Adam Ezra Group will be at the Parkway June 29th. And, I was reading as far as your live shows go, it kind of seems like you never know what might happen as far as the set list and that sort of thing.
Yep, that you never know what's going to happen. That's certainly true for the audience and for those of us on stage too. When we walk onto a stage, we never have a plan or a set list, and every night and every concert is always different, and that's the way we like it. We think that a concert should feel like a conversation between the musicians on stage and the audience off the stage, and so we let the nights unfold as they will each time we play.
Excellent. Yeah, I know a lot of people around here like that style of music, so I think you guys will probably be coming back through this way a lot more here in the future.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do hope it goes well. This will be our first ever show where we get to kind of headline our own concert experience, and I can't wait.
Well, Adam, I thought this was a typo at first, but you've got something like 19 albums out or something like that already?
I have a bit of a songwriting problem, Dustin. I'm sorry. Yep, it's hard. It not only do we have something like 19 albums. I don't know. I lost track myself. But we're coming out with our latest album. Actually, the album I'm most excited with, the third in a series of live albums we began releasing about 8 or so years ago. This is called Better Than Bootleg 3. It's going to be officially released at the end of the summer, but But between you, all of your listeners, and me, we're actually going to have copies of the album with us that night, because I'm like, I'm not the kind of guy that can wait till Christmas morning to open a present. So so I'm pretty excited about that as well.
Excellent. Yeah, and I also noticed you just had a solo album out earlier this year too. So I mean, you're kind of keeping both things going together at the same time. That's great.
Well, I do a kind of a crazy thing, Dustin, in that every single year in January and February, I give my band a couple months off, and in 60 days that fill up January and February, I show up to the living rooms of 50 fans all over the country, and I play house concerts for those fans. And, it is inspired by, I consider myself a folk musician more than anything else. I know I kind of play in a rockin' Americana band, but that's where the roots of the music that inspires me the most came from, people playing in meeting houses and living rooms and in churches and restaurants. And so that's been kind of a joy for me. And in honor of that house concert tour every single year, I try to release a solo something, whether it's a live album or studio album. This year it was an album called Find a Way that I love a lot.
And again, the Adam Ezra Group will be coming to the Parkway Theater in Minneapolis, June 29th. And Adam, I read a bit about your partnership with John Oates. We had him on the show before. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that guy's in every songwriting every Hall of Fame in general, I guess you could think of.
Man, that friendship has been a real joy for me in the last handful of years. It started with him inviting me down to Nashville to do some songwriting, and we kind of became songwriting buddies. These days, to date, we probably have 9 or 10 albums or 9 or 10 songs written together. The icing on that friendship for me was John taking me out on tour with him and his Roots Americana band in January. We traveled all around the country. We got close to Minneapolis, but we didn't quite make it there, unfortunately.
Well, you mentioned a bit earlier about the grassroots kind of flow. I wanted to ask you about this rally sound and how that came about and how that all works.
Yeah. We have been. The growth of this band has been very untraditional in a lot of ways, including the ways that we have kind of approached concerts and touring. I kind of realized early on that my favorite concerts were ones that were about more than just the music. They were about more than just the party, but that in some way, bringing a community together, we could not only be celebrating that music, but we could be having some kind of a tangible impact on the world around us, and that really inspired a lot of kind of activism, particularly in the Northeast, where we're from, where we do a lot of our touring, where our biggest fan base is, and where I have the most history. Rally Sound is now an official nonprofit organization, and throughout the year, we try to give back as much as we can through the music we make. Through Rally Sound, actually tomorrow we're going to be playing a concert with a bunch of high school orchestra students up in Vermont, which is pretty inspiring to me. At the end of every summer, we host a free festival we call the Ramble. Last year was the Ramble Year 9. We had artists come in from all over the Northeast donating their time and their talent, and we had over 3,000 people show up to the Ramble. We raised enough money to help 25 of our veteran heroes off the streets and help them into safe and dignified housing. A pretty humbling thing to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely. If the listeners out there want to know more about that or get involved, what's the best way to figure out more information?
You know what? There are so many ways to find out about us. Y'all, I'm going to give you probably the easiest place to start, which is AdamEzra.com. I know that second name is a weird one, Ezra. And if you go onto that website, not only will you see our tour schedule, including our date for the Parkway Theater, but there will also be a button that talks about activism, and that will connect you to our nonprofit organization, our festival for our veterans, and in general, allow you to get a deeper sense of who we are and what we're all about.
Awesome, man. Well, again, you've got the show coming up at the Parkway Theater on the 29th. The new album's on the way. Is there anything else maybe we should be looking out for?
Oh, gosh, I am sure there's a ton that I'm forgetting to talk about. I guess here's what I would say. One of our favorite new projects that I love chatting about these days because I'm excited about is called, we call it the Live Sound Project. Every single show that we play these days, we are recording in real time, and at the end of the night, you can walk home with a USB drive of the concert that you just saw. It's one of the things that we're having the most fun with on tour these days. So if you all are down at the Parkway Theater and we have some special moments together, you can take them home with you after the concert.
Beautiful. Well, again, Adam, it's been great speaking with you, and I'm hoping everything goes well, and maybe we can talk again sometime.
Dustin, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and thank you for supporting independent music.
And again, that was Adam Ezra of the Adam Ezra Group, and they'll be playing at the Parkway Theater in Minneapolis coming up on June 29th. More information at adamezra.com.